Hello again, Hail family. Welcome back to your daily reset. Today we're going to go through a little bit of a slower kind of cool down mobility sequence. It's going to be focused on our spine. So kind of no matter how we've moved this week, whether it's with some at-home workouts or with just work from home, school from home, whatever we've got going on, it's going to feel really, really nice, kind of loosen things up along our back and everything. So for this one, you may want a pillow. So I grabbed kind of like the longest pillow that I had. Going to be nice for us. If you don't have a pillow you want to use, like if you're doing this right after a sweaty workout, no worries. I'll show some options you can do without a pillow as well. So to start for this one, we're just going to start on hands and knees. We're going to go through a few cat-cows to just loosen things up along our back. So again, to get into that setup here for this one, we're going to bring knees right underneath hips and then wrists right underneath my shoulders. So finding that setup, I like to go on the tops of my feet, but you can also go on your toes if you'd rather. So from here, I'm going to think first about dropping my belly button down towards the floor, and then I'm going to lift my chin up, squeeze shoulder blades together for that cow pose. And then I'm slowly going to kind of reverse it, tuck chin into my chest, push my upper back up to the ceiling, and then tuck my tailbone so that my whole back is rounded. And then let's reverse it on back to cow. Again, drop the belly, lift the chin, and then right on back to cat. Let's just move through two more of those, just a few. And then on your own pace, we'll take it back to cow and round it for cat. One more back to cow. And then arch the back to cat. Alright, and then from here, let's just come back to neutral spine first, and then we're just going to, again, kind of loosen things up in whatever way feels good. So you can bump, say, like hips left and right, maybe moving the shoulders in the opposite direction if you want to kind of take circles in and out of cat-cow. You can do that as well. You can just get a little freaky with it. Move your spine in a lot of different ways. I think a lot of times in CrossFit workouts and a lot of times like with strength training and stuff, we like to think about maintaining a stiff back, and that's good when we have loads. But it's also good to make sure that we can like maintain a really wide range of motion comfortably. So kind of pushing the limits on how we move our spine sometimes is good, and just kind of feels fun sometimes to like move in really random ways. So I'm putting this on YouTube, so right at home you can do this as well. Just kind of get freaky with the spine. Have some fun. Whatever feels good. Alright. We can drop it on back onto our heels. We're going to grab that pillow that we got. We're going to move into some just static holds. Again, just to kind of move into the end range of our spinal positioning. So for this first one, we're going to set up just with heels on the floor. Legs out pretty long, but knees can stay bent enough just to stay comfortable. And I'll kind of show you what that's going to entail in a little bit. So I'm going to take the pillow long ways. I'm going to get one edge of that pillow up towards my hips. Just going to lay it across or along my legs. So if I need to bend the knees here a little bit more, I can. Because what we want to achieve is being able to wrap our arms around our legs. So if we need to bend our knees more or less to make that happen, we can. And then again, we're going to want our belly to be resting on that pillow. So if it feels like we're having to reach too far at first, let's just walk the heels in a little bit, and then we're going to grab on. So from here, I'm going to think first about reaching crown of my head, so that very like top portion of my head, up for the corner of the wall in front of me, or the corner of like where the wall meets the ceiling. So get it really, really nice and long. And then I'm just going to drop my chin onto the pillow. I'm going to get nice and comfy here. Beautiful release for our entire back. As we get more comfortable, as we kind of relax into this, we can wiggle our heels just a little bit farther out in front of us. So we can take that into a tiny bit of a deeper stretch. Might start to feel it in the hamstrings a little bit as well, just depending on where we're tight. But also, again, I feel it like in my upper back even, so it's not necessarily just lower back. And then again, we're gonna get comfy here. We're gonna be here for a little bit, so let's just maybe close our eyes if you want to. If it's more comfortable for you to do so, you can always kind of rest one cheek on the pillow as well. I just find it's a little bit more comfortable for me, at least, to be on the chin. As long as you still feel like you can breathe. Don't have to breathe right into that pillow. Slowly start to come on out of this. So if we want to put hands down on the floor, we can kind of help ourselves come back up to a seat. We can ditch that pillow just for a second here. Our friend will come back to meet us in a second, but we're going to come into a seated twist now. So we're going to, again, move in the spine every which way it can, which involves twisting. So with our right leg first, let's cross that right foot up and over if we can, or if we just want to keep that right foot on the right side of our left leg, we can as well. But if we can come into that cross and keep our right hip down, let's do that. And then first, let's place both hands on our knee, on our right knee, and then sit up nice and tall. Crown of the head reaches for the ceiling, straight up, like imagine a string there, pulling ourselves up first. And then with our left arm, let's go ahead and just give that right knee a big ol' hug. So left elbow crease is gonna hold onto that right knee, and then right hand can reach back behind us. Really twisting from the base of the spine. If we're getting here and we still feel like we're kind of rounded, like we still have to like fight for this position, you can bend the left knee as well. This is also a really good time though to kind of bring that right foot out of the cross. Make sure we can sit up tall first before we kind of move into that. So when we're coming into that twist, we want to be really nice and tall rather than kind of in that folded in position like we were with that forward fold. So let's lift our chin up maybe. Gonna look over that right shoulder. And sometimes even here I like to like drop our right ear towards the right shoulder. So we're bringing that stretch all the way up into our neck. And let's slowly release. So we can send that right leg back on out long. Left foot can, again, your choice. Either just come up into a bent position or we can take it on over that right leg. Again, goal here is to feel like we are rooted down through both hips, so we're not having to like lean to our right to get into that comfortably. So we'll start there. Let's hug that left knee now with both hands. Sit up nice and tall. And then when we're ready, we'll loop that right elbow right around that left knee. Slowly work ourselves into it, and then we can reach that left hand behind us if we'd like. And in whichever position we're in, and I always like to kind of cue stretches with our breath when we're holding them a little bit longer. So like on an inhale in this, I'm just thinking about getting really, really tall. And then on the exhale is when I kind of twist into that a little bit further. So we kind of pair it with our breath. Instead of feeling like we're like fighting the pose the whole time, maybe just twisting just that smidge farther only on the exhale. And if we did so on the other side, let's go ahead and drop our left ear towards our left shoulder. Let's bring our head back to center, kind of gently come out of our twist, and then we'll send that left leg out long once more. So we'll come into our final little resting pose here, kind of, again, another kind of longer one that we're just going to spend some nice quality time with ourselves. So I'm going to use a pillow again. There's always the option not to use the pillow. It's just going to be kind of without that completely. You'll still be laying on your back. But if you've got the pillow that you want to use, we're going to scoot that pillow right underneath our hips so that our hips are actually on the floor still, but that pillow is meeting our low back, right where it meets. With my legs, a few options here. If we want to do soles of our feet together and then just letting our knees fall out, if that is comfortable for us, we can do that. Again, don't want it to be like a super like intense stretch today. So if this feels like too much, one other option is once we get to our back, we can instead bring our soles of our feet to the floor and walk them out wider than our shoulders, and then just let our knees fall in. So that's our other option, but again, one is also have soles of the feet together, let knees fall out wide, and then whether we're on the pillow or just the floor, let's bring elbows up to shoulder height, and then let our hands fall back. So the back side of our hands is going to fall onto the floor, and if it's not all the way coming there, that's totally all right if our chest is a little bit tight. But just letting gravity kind of open us up from here. And again, another one, we're just going to chill out in this for a little bit. So if we want to shut our eyes down, we can. And then just thinking about taking some big ol' nice deep breaths into the belly. Just really taking some time for ourselves here, kind of letting whatever our week brought to us go. One of the things I've kind of been really noticing with this quarantine is just that even though we may technically have more free time or time at home just by ourselves, it's still pretty tough, honestly, to like take the time for yourself, for like self-care and things like that. And some of the things I've been wrestling with is just that it's maybe not that time barrier that we think it is, but it's more of like we don't know if we deserve that time for ourselves, or we just don't think to do it when there's so many other distractions or things in our life that we see other people doing that we think we should do as well, like watching Netflix or reading 80 books or doing puzzles or FaceTiming every second of every day. It's still hard to kind of slow it down and just take time away from screens, away from everything. So I think that's where some of this benefit really comes from, is just shutting all of that down. Like, sure, it may look like you're just laying on the floor here, but I think we're doing a lot more than that. If we've got our knees out wide, let's go ahead and bring our hands down kind of to the outsides of our thighs, and then we'll kind of use our hands to bring our knees up back to pointing towards the ceiling. If we were in that position with our feet on the floor, we can just kind of stick there. We can maybe bring the feet back in towards center, and then let's reach our right arm over our head, and then let's just roll gently onto our right side. Left hand can press into the floor, and then we'll slowly just sit on up. Nice and safe. Ooh, feel good. All right. that is all I've got for you guys. Again, thank you to yourself for taking this time for yourself, for kind of carving out that little bit of time. I know it's never easy, and that's something that definitely learning along in this time. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you again soon.